I think everyone has been enjoying the Rush Duel's coverage so far, and it looks like I'm going to be covering the whole set. Maybe alongside a 5-star review and deck building video after the full set is released. But for today, let's go over the effect monsters revealed so far, in ascending order of level. First up, Luminous Shaman. Light attribute level 2, spellcaster, 500 attack, 0 defense. Requirement: you can send this face-up card you control to the graveyard. Then the effect: one face-up monster, level 4 or lower spellcaster you control can attack directly this turn. I really like the design of this sort of card, like how we had Winged Minion in the main game. Sacrificing a monster for a one-time benefit feels a lot better when it doesn't take up the once per turn normal summon. The actual effect feels a lot like Ki Ryu too, and 1500 damage with Dark Sorcerer is not too bad. I wonder if there will be a combo to one-shot opponents, like with Gear Golem the Moving Fortress. Now, for the Dragon Foil to Luminous Shaman, we have Phoenix Dragon. Fire attribute, level 2, Dragon, 500 attack and defense. Requirement: you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Then the effect: add one monster, level 5 or higher dragon type, from your graveyard to your hand. Instead of tributing the monster, we have discard from hand, which makes the card feel more flexible. Keep in mind, discard fodder is extremely easy to come by with the hand refill every turn. The effect is most similar to Herald of Creation for recycling high-level monsters, although this one is restricted only to dragons. You can even then sacrifice the Phoenix Dragon to tribute summon the higher level dragon that turn. I can see playing 1 or 2 to recycle Dragears at least. Mystic Dealer is a water attribute level 3 spellcaster with 1000 attack and 0 defense. Requirement: you can send one monster, spellcaster type, from your hand to the graveyard. Then the effect: draw one card. Now is a good time to bring up that there is an implicit once per turn clause on every card in the format. If you can meet the requirement, you can activate the effect once that turn, which should prevent too much abuse from this effect. Discard to draw is pretty strong. Cycling through your deck to get to combo pieces or just boosting consistency makes this effect very strong. There are also a few monsters with payoffs for cards in grave, which will be coming up later. Also at level 3, we have Twin-Edged Dragon. Light attribute, Dragon, 1000 attack and 0 defense. Again. Requirement: you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Then the effect: this card can make a second attack this turn. This card is Greywing, but maybe with the stats adjusted for Rush Duels. As far as opportunity cost goes, any level 4 or lower monster with more than 1000 attack should not be discarded for this effect, since you could just normal summon and attack directly. There is the benefit to double dip with cards that buff, like Piercing, but at that point attacking directly would probably be better. Gravity Press Dragon, not to be confused with Gravity Crush Dragon, is an Earth attribute level 6 dragon with 1500 attack and 1000 defense. Requirement: you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Then the effect: one face-up monster your opponent controls loses 700 attack and defense until the end of this turn. This is soft removal in the sense of weakening monsters then attacking over them. At 1 tribute, an effective 2200 attack seems pretty good. This is giving up a bit of card advantage, but it looks like a serviceable removal option on its own. It can also be retrieved with Phoenix Dragon, and then tribute summoned by sacrificing the Phoenix Dragon. This seems like a great card to push tempo, but carefully weigh the exchange of card advantage, as well as the potential to have a high-level monster stranded in hand. Saturn King Beetle is a dark attribute level 6 insect with 1700 attack and 200 defense, and that 1700 attack is actually pretty decent, and it does improve with the monster's effect. Requirement: you can send the top card from your deck to the graveyard, and then the effect: one face-up monster you control gains 100 attack for each level 1 monster in your graveyard until the end of the turn. Saturn King Beetle is one of the payoffs for cards in grave, which is good, but what deck does it go into? This is the only insect revealed so far, and not only that, but it cares about level 1 monsters. This could be a sizable attack increase, with 5 monsters making it on par with the effective attack points of Gravity Press Dragon, while also not having to discard a card from hand. The fact that the requirement fuels the effect is nice, but I think pieces of the puzzle are missing. There will probably be a bit more support for level 1 monsters, but this is an okay payoff so far. Next card is 7 Stars Witch, which is a dark attribute level 6 spellcaster type monster with 1600 attack and 1000 defense, which are on the lower end of average stats for its level. The effect does help with this though. Requirement: you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Then the effect: special summon 1 monster, level 7 or higher dark spellcaster type, from your hand, and if it is 7's Rhodes Magician, this card gains 400 attack until the end of the turn. This is effectively saving 1 card from having to tribute summon the level 7 or higher spellcaster type monster, but the effect is a bit narrow. Gaining 400 attack when summoning 7's Rhodes Magician is definitely a great payoff though. Speaking of which, let's skip ahead to the Magician himself. 7 Rhodes Magician is a dark attribute level 7 spellcaster with 2100 attack and 1500 defense, a departure from the standard protagonist ace monster stats, but it feels like every monster in the format is missing 400 or more attack when compared to the master game. But this monster does get stronger. Requirement: you can send the top card from your deck to the graveyard. Then the effect: this card gains 300 attack for each different attribute in your graveyard until the end of the turn. Sending the top card from the deck is a good requirement to maintain card advantage, and it also fuels the effect. This is the bigger payoff for monsters in grave, and because it looks at attributes instead of types, it has a ceiling of 1800 attack points, making it potentially stronger than even Blue Eyes White Dragon. Brave of Dawn Light Across is a light attribute level 7 warrior with 2100 attack and 1500 defense. The requirement: you can shuffle 2 monsters, spellcasters, from your graveyard into the deck. Then the effect: special summon up to 2 monsters, which are level 5 or lower spellcasters, from your hand. For its level, the stats are mediocre, as we have Max Raider in the same level slot, and even Blue Eyes White Dragon at 2 tributes if you really want to rub it in. But does the effect make up for it? The requirement is not too hard to fulfill, but it does compete with Recovery Force, as both require spellcaster type monsters in the graveyard. Special summoning level 4 or lower spellcaster type monsters from hand is useless, since you can normal summon without tributes anyway. And on top of that, the only level 5 spellcaster monster revealed so far is Hydro Magician, which is underwhelming. Probably too many hoops for not enough payoff. Up last, we have Rush Dragon Dragears, which is the foil to 7 Rhodes Magician. Light attribute level 7 Dragon, 2500 attack, 1500 defense. Those are impressive stats already. Requirement: you can send the top card from the deck to the graveyard. Then the effect: this turn, this card can make a second attack during the battle phase it destroyed a monster by battle. Let's point out that the second attack is more conditional than Twin Edge Dragons, but Dragears has much higher attack points by comparison. Also, sending a card from the deck to grave is much better than a card from hand to grave. This is definitely a big threat to get on board, and with 2 attacks can easily swing tempo back into your favor. High level is a barrier to entry, and the attack ceiling is lower than 7 Rhodes Magician, so it might be a bit weaker than it seems. Overall, the lineup is interesting, and a few cards stick out so far. I think there is more streamlining in the game. Cutting down the types to 4, at least going by the monsters which were revealed so far. A deck is definitely coming together, but I think the set design is a little heavy-handed when it comes to type support. I don't want to be railroaded into playing the Dragon deck or the Spellcaster deck, but it feels like there's the potential for splashing, which is great. I am looking forward to the other half of the set.